And welcome back to SWBA Today. This is the second show of today. And so what we are looking at is a recap of the Minnesota Timberwolves versus the Los Angeles Lakers. And so we'll be talking about that, along with the games that are taking place today with the Boston Celtics versus the Orlando Magic. They actually are getting ready to start at the time of this recording. And then the late game is going to be the Indiana Pacers versus the Milwaukee Bucks. So we'll be previewing those. And so let's go ahead and jump into another thriller. This was a terrific game. If you did not get a chance to see this one, this was the Minnesota Timberwolves versus the Los Angeles Lakers. And so the Timberwolves take care of business against the Lakers, winning this 116-113. I think that the first major headline out of this is that the Timberwolves take a commanding 3-1 lead against the Los Angeles Lakers. And so let's start with the Timberwolves and the key takeaways from them. And so starting with Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards was spectacular. I think that when this team needed to get a basket, they went to Anthony Edwards, and he just simply refused to let the Minnesota Timberwolves get beat. They were down by 10, and he was just relentless. He had 43 points. He had 9 rebounds. He had 6 assists. He was 5 of 10 from the three-point line and 14 of 17 from the free throw line. So he did a terrific job in making the Lakers pay every time they sent him to the free throw line, and he played 44 minutes. And so I think that that is the first key takeaway for the Timberwolves. Next up, Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo. I've been talking about just the trade between the Knicks and the Timberwolves, and I've been talking about how the Knicks really were the big winners of this trade. But today, this is where you start to see the trade pay off for the Timberwolves. I think that both of these players played excellent today. And starting with Julius Randle, defensively, this might have been the best game I've ever seen Julius Randle play defensively. The way that he was extending up the floor defensively with his pressure, the lateral movement, just taking away angles, making it tough for Luka and just everybody to just dribble the basketball today. I think that it really put the Lakers offense into a tough situation. And then offensively from Julius Randle, he was huge. He had 25 points. He was 4-4 from the free throw line, 9 of 22 from the field, 7 rebounds, +8 in that plus-minus box score. But, man, he played like a little bit of bully ball today. He was certainly physical. Julius Randle was huge for the Timberwolves. And then also, too, with Dante DiVincenzo, look, it's not going to show up from a score standpoint with his 8 points, but he made some critical baskets, and he also made some critical decisions in this game. And he had 5 steals as well. So defensively, he was all over the place as far as playing the passing lanes. And so that trade paying off for the Timberwolves. And then next, the X factors for the Timberwolves. And so you had Naz Reid. I believe he is now 9 of 9 in the fourth quarter in this series. So he has not missed a shot. And so 12 points today, 4 rebounds, +9 in the plus-minus box score. Naz Reid was spectacular off the bench for this team. And then lastly, Jaden McDaniels. Every time that he gets it going as a scorer, it is tough for the Minnesota Timberwolves to get beat. He had 16 points, and he also had 11 rebounds. He was +8 in the plus-minus box score, 2 of 3 from the three-point line, but more importantly, 2 of 3 from the free throw line, because there was a critical play where he got an and one with about 39 seconds to go. And really, that was the difference there in the game for the Timberwolves. And so next, when you look at the Lakers and just what the key takeaways are from them, starting with Luka. So Luka played a lot better than he did the last game. He had 38 points in this. He was 7 of 7 from the free throw line, -3 in the plus-minus box score. He only had 2 assists in this game, and he only had 1 rebound. And so I just think that that really shows you the type of defense that the Minnesota Timberwolves played on him. Like, they made him a scorer, and they took away everything else and just his ability to try to make plays for others. LeBron James had 27 points. He had 8 assists in this game and 12 rebounds, 15 of 18 from the free throw line in 46 minutes. And so LeBron and Luka, they expended a lot of energy to try to keep the Lakers into this series. And so this is a very disappointing loss, I think, for the Lakers because of that. And then once again, you see that they don't have any interior play. You only got 2 points from Jackson Hayes, and he played in 4 minutes. They had Jared Vanderbilt, 7 minutes. He had 0 points and 2 rebounds. And so the Lakers just did not have any interior play. And when you look at the box score, and the key takeaway out of that, 48-40, the Minnesota Timberwolves dominate in the paint. Remember, we were previewing this game and saying that if the Minnesota Timberwolves dominate inside, it was going to be tough for the Lakers. And we know this is something that has been talked about. They just don't have that type of rim protection, and they don't have that type of interior play on the offensive end. And so the Lakers become a very perimeter-oriented team. And you got to give the Timberwolves a lot of credit, man, because they were down. They fought back in this game. And just looking at the quarters, which is something that we've talked about in this series. And so you got to give the Lakers some credit. They started off a little bit better, 32-28 in the first quarter. They lost the second quarter, and then they kind of dominated the third quarter, 36-23. But the Timberwolves have won the fourth quarter in all these games in the series, and they dominated this one 32-19. Huge difference for the Minnesota Timberwolves just getting to the finish line. And so a tough loss for the Lakers. Had this series going 7 games, like I said, I think that it could be over here in Los Angeles, but I don't think that LeBron James is going to let that happen. He's going to get some more rest, and so I think he's going to probably try to make it tough here for the Minnesota Timberwolves to get him out. But we'll see what happens. But I do still have the Timberwolves to win this series. And so next up, I wanted to jump into the previews, and this is a game that is currently in progress right now, currently as we're recording. And so that's the Boston Celtics versus the Orlando Magic. And so currently it is 10-8 with the Orlando Magic down in this series 2-1. And so the last game, it was like a 95-93 type of game, which was perfect for the Orlando Magic. They want to slow you down. They want to get into a half-court type of offense. They don't want you to get up and down the court, and they like to take away the three-point shot. And so that's going to be the key for the Orlando Magic. They're going to have to continue to defend at a high level. And, you wonder offensively, can they keep that pace with the Celtics? Because I think ultimately the Celtics, they're going to play a lot faster in today's game. And I also think that their bench is going to show up as well. I think that was the key in this last game, is that the Celtics bench did not play very well at all. I think Peyton Pritchard just didn't have a good game. You would expect that he's going to come back and have an even bigger game. I was surprised that Jason Tatum was able to come back from the wrist bruise and play as well as he did. And so I think the Celtics are in a good position here. I think ultimately all they want to do is get the split and get back to Boston. They want to try to take a commanding lead of 3-1. I like the Celtics today. I think that they're going to respond just like champions do. And so we'll see what happens. And so next up, we want to talk about the last game that is set to take place here. And that is the Indiana Pacers versus the Milwaukee Bucks. And so, look, you got to give the Bucks a lot of credit. They're still down in this series 2-1, but I love the response that we saw from the others, and mainly with Gary Trent Jr. I thought that he was outstanding in this last game. And you know that Dame Lillard is not going to play as bad as he did this last game. I think that you're going to see a better effort from Dame this time around. Granted, he's still trying to get his rhythm and stuff back, but I think he's going to just come out and understand the moment. He's going to play a lot harder today. So I do expect that he's going to contribute more. And I just think that if the Milwaukee Bucks can get out like they did this last game in Game 3, they're going to be in a good situation, because that has really been the key to the series for the Pacers, is that they've had excellent starts to the games, and then they are getting some terrific contributions across the board from multiple players. I mean, whether it's Thomas Bryant, whether it's McConnell coming off the bench, whether it's Mathurin, Benedict Mathurin, whoever it is, they've been getting other contributions other than Tyrese Halliburton, Miles Turner, Siakam. Like, they've been getting some good stuff from other players. And so in that last game, Miles Turner struggled. Pascal Siakam was okay, and so was Tyrese Halliburton. So expect for them to get some more from the others. And I don't think that Miles Turner is going to play as poorly. I want to say that I think that the Milwaukee Bucks are going to get this game. I think that they're going to knot it up at 2-2 and make it interesting, but I still have the Pacers to win this series. And so anyway, let me know in the comments what you guys are thinking. Do you feel like that the Pacers are poised to take this game 4 and get a commanding 3-1 lead? Or do you feel like it is going to be the Milwaukee Bucks who climb back into this series? Next, what do you think here about the Boston Celtics and the Orlando Magic? Do you feel like the Magic are poised to get back in this series with a big defensive effort? They're going to slow down Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and get back into this series and make it 2-2? Or do you feel like it is going to be Jason Tatum and the others that are going to take over in today's game to make it a commanding 3-1 lead for them? And lastly, let me know what your thoughts were about this performance from Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves, how they were able to come back in this game and just really get a huge win in Minnesota against the Los Angeles Lakers. Do you feel like that Luka and then LeBron James are going to be able to answer and get back into this series? Do you feel like it's over? Or do you feel like, man, the Lakers are going to come back and win this series? So I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. And as we always say, see the game and be the game. I'll see you guys on the next one. All right, peace.